As you can see, I have some really fun, beautiful new papers to play with today. Welcome back to my channel, Crafting with Cami. Today we are going to be taking the Season of Elegance paper and turning it into a scrapbook layout. This is a collaboration with the Inspiration Collaboration Design Team, where we are taking Christmas-themed papers and turning them into a non-Christmas layout. This is the one side of it. So you get a couple pieces of the green. I'm still not used to Stampin' Up's colors, so I have my little cheat sheet here, but we have some basic beige, we have some cherry cobbler, we have some crumb cake, we have gray granite, lost lagoon, mossy meadow, old olive, we got pretty peacock, real red, and of course our gold. Isn't that so gorgeous how that gold foiling is just mixed in that paper? I knew I had to have this. And then the reverse side, let me just flip them all over here. The reverse side has kind of a washed texture look. So this kind of looks like textured paint. We got some wash. This blue one is gorgeous. And then the greens are a little bit different. So this one, the wash is kind of, you know, and then this one looks a little more textured. So the greens are not the same. You don't get 4 of the same. You get 2 of each. Aren't these gorgeous? I am so excited to play with these. So for the Season of Elegance, I did get the full pack. I got the full suite. So let me show you what else came in that suite. Purchasing the full suite, you get the Peaceful Season polymer stamp set. So this is a bunch of good Christmas little words and sentiments, and then you also get the dies. So inside our dies here, we get these awesome tags, and you can slide your ribbon through those. And then you get these banners, and all of these words fit into these. So like, hope this season is bright and beautiful. That would fit perfectly in this little small one. I think that's great for scrapbook embellishing. That's great for cards, obviously. That's what it's made for. But yeah, here's what those look like in there. Now, what I like to do with my stamps and die cuts is I like to keep them together. So what I've been doing, and you've probably noticed in my other videos, is I purchased some of these adhesive-backed magnets off of Amazon, and I like to just peel that adhesive off the back. Super sticky, and then I like to stick it all the way to the edge so that I for sure am not getting in the way of closing my DVD case here. So that closes great. And then I like to just take off these and stick them onto here. Look at how that cuts out the Christmas, and then it also cuts out like a background layer for it, so you can layer those on top of each other and get that shadowed effect. Love all these little banners, and I can use these for so much more than just Christmas cards. That's one thing I looked at when I'm purchasing new items, is can I use this more for the intended more than just the intended purpose. So these are obviously made and great for Christmas cards, but what else can I use these for? And I think banners and just these sentiments are so good. And then I like to peel off these as well, and I like to stick them directly to here so I can see if one's missing, or I can kind of see what it looks like. So I won't make you watch me do all of these, but you can kind of see which ones go with what. This one goes down here. All right, so this is empty now, but I do like to keep that in here so that when I close this up, the dies aren't touching these and ruining or damaging these at all. So I will just keep that in there, and there we go. So that is the Peaceful Season. Oh, and then I like to, this doesn't have anything on the back, so I just like to tear that off. I like to slide my dies into the back of my DVD case. And sometimes it helps to open it up so that it's a little looser. And then we can just slide that in here. Then I have the name of what those dies were called, and I really don't need the instructions. I remember how to stamp. So there we go. Good to go on my shelf, and I just like to prop it up on my shelf like so. So these magnets are great. I'll have them linked down below. This is that case that the dies come in. I hang on to these, and then I can use these for other dies that don't have stamps or anything else. So I do not get rid of these envelopes. The next stamp set that comes in the suite is the Peaceful Evergreens. And if you know me, I use a lot of evergreens and pine trees in my scrapbook layouts, so I always gravitate towards those. And then you also get the Peaceful Evergreen dies to go along. So these are actually cling stamp sets. So these are the red rubber stamps. And Stampin'Up uses these more so when there's fine detail or they want to add some shading to the stamps. So I have learned to like these as well. And I just like to remove them from the carrier sheet and have them set in there. And I do have a video on how to get the stickers onto the back of these. I like to put them on my block. I have a video on how to add those to the back of these. I'll have that video linked down in the description box. Okay, so I just like to remove these from the carrier so they're ready to use. I find that the less busy work I have when I'm creating, the better. Because if I have to sit there and remove it, I'm probably not going to use that stamp. I'm just going to find one that I already have ready to go. So these move around a lot, but you end up peeling the back of this off and putting this sticker on. So it is a little more sticky and it stays in place better once you get these on. And then the dies that come with this. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stickers. Yeah, 8 stamps. And the dies come with more. Again, I'll hang on to this envelope for a future project or future products. So look at how many dies come with that. So you get all of the ones for along with your stamps. So you have all of these to cut out your trees. But then you have even extra. I'm going to add another magnet here and adhere all of, or magnet all those to that one so that we can have them all in one place. Season of Elegance also comes with the, they call these gold texture adhesive back dots. Aren't those so pretty? And they come in multiple sizes. Love that. And then you get some cherry cobbler satin ribbon with that gold trim. Love it. And then we have an embossing folder, and this has the 3 pine trees on there. It's called the Painted Trees 3D embossing folder. And I have not played with this at all, but I am so excited. You could line this up and do so much with this. I'm excited to play around with this, so stay tuned for a future video when I use this embossing folder. That is everything that comes with the Season of Elegance. And today we are going to create a layout using the papers, but it's not going to be a Christmas layout. This is all geared a little more towards Christmas. Obviously, you could use this for anything, but I am going to use a lot of these products and the papers and do a non-Christmas layout. I am going to be creating this layout on some White Daisy cardstock. And looking at my photos here, this is a trip we took to a winery. We just had a little date day, and I'll go through these pictures a little closer. But looking at my pictures and the wine, I really wanted to use this paper. I thought that red, it matches the wine perfectly, and I know it's in a different glass. It's like a sparkling on tap wine. It's fancy. I grabbed this paper out of the Seasons of Green and Gold. So it has the greenery on one side, which I did think of bringing in some green, but I have a lot of green in my pictures, so I kind of wanted my pictures to stand out a little bit more. But I loved all this gold foiling. So then I thought, let's continue with that gold foiling and bring in some of this. Now, I'm not a huge fan of how this off-white looks next to the white. So I actually think I'm going to be covering a lot of the white with pattern papers. Nature's Sweetness has a ton of this gold foil. So I thought continuing with the gold foil, we could bring some of this in to help balance and brace our photos. And my husband's wearing gray, so I think it ties in nicely with my photos. So I'm thinking of bringing strips of the red over, and I cut these off either side, leaving the really patterned with all the foil down the center. So I have those cut down to 1.5. And I thought that would help bring your eye from the wine glasses like into the center towards the wine. And then I have this one cut down to 3 inches. So I thought that could go across the bottom here, and I do still need to cut off that 1.5 inches. I cut this one down. I didn't want it completely centered. I kind of wanted it to look a little off center, and I don't think, I was considering doing something a little bit different on this side. I don't always want to do like the exact same, bring it over to the right hand page, but I think this pattern lends itself nice to continue across, and I do want to frame in the red as well. I just thought I needed a little more red, so I brought that into the center. Put this one over here and over on this side. I have quite a bit of black in my photos. I'm wearing black, and some of my photos are a little bit darker, but I am going to outline these in my black ink. So I have my archival black, and I'm just going to go around the edges with that. Now, this isn't going to stick to all of the foil very well, but it will stick to the cardstock. So as long as I just stay right on the edges, I should be good to go. I went through and I matted them all on black. So I printed them with a white border, and then I adhered them to black cardstock just as an extra matte. And I'm wearing black, and I just thought it would make my photos pop off a little bit more and bring in more of that elegance that the winery has. So I'm not exactly sure how I want my photos or where I want my title. But these are all my photos, and then I have 2 smaller ones here. This is actually the same one as that, so I only need 1 of those. We drove the Cougar, my husband's old car, drove that to the winery. And then the winery has like a trail behind it. So we went out on that trail, and it was a good time. So I'm just kind of playing around with these. This is the winery itself, and then you go back behind here and it's the trail. I don't like that red pickup. I could also do an embellishment cluster right there to hide that, and it really stands out because of the red paper, so I'd like to hide that. We actually went there for the Bloody Marys. They have huge monster Bloody Marys, and they always stack them with something different every week. So good. And then, of course, we had to have some of their wine too, because it's a winery. So I'm going to play around with these photos and kind of see where I want them laid out. These 2 I kept together on that white mat, and then I just framed them both. And I thought I could move them around together. If I decide to cut them apart, I can, but I don't mind how they look as one 4x6. This is what I'm thinking for my general layout here. And then I cut these leaves out of, if you have it, the layered flowers from Close to My Heart. And it's just this leaf stem here. So I cut those out of this same pattern paper. And I did 3 of those. Out of the Secret Garden, I just did the top 2 layers of these 2 flowers. So I have this middle piece here, and then the lighter one. And then I have the 2 layers there, and I did 3 sets of those, so I can go like this. But I don't want these as white as they are because this isn't white. It's kind of more of a cream color. Let's go ahead and bring in my silicone mat. This is from Stampin'Up. It's kind of like close to my heart's all-purpose mat. You can do inking on it. And then I have some shortbread, and I think that'll just help mute this white. So I have my little blending brush here. And let's go ahead and just start with this one. So I'm just going to tap off a little bit, and I'm going to start in that middle and then just kind of go out from there. And I want to cover the whole thing, but I want the middle to be definitely darker. So starting in the middle and then kind of going off. Okay, so then this one will layer on here, and we'll go ahead and do the same with that. And that just takes away from that stark white. I think I might even want a little bit more on the outside. So we're just going to do that to all 3 of these. Starting with the center and then going all the way around. And then this one has the slit. Perfect. All right. And then you can run this under your faucet or just wipe it clean with your chamois. Easy peasy. I did some cutting on my Cricut. So this is a print and cut. And I did We Go Together Like. And I thought my title could go here. We Go Together Like. And then using this die cut from the Peaceful Season. Now these are the dies, remember. I used my Cricut and the pen on the Cricut, and I used the black pen to write out different things. So like the cougar and wineries. So we took our cougar to the winery. And then I used the die cut from that Peaceful Season to cut these out. So using a little bit of die cutting and the Cricut machine to create these. So I thought I could spread them around. So cougars and wineries, Bloody Marys and subs, Valiant and Vineyard. That was the name of the vineyard, is Valiant Vineyard. Wine and champagne. So that's actually, it's on tap, so it's fizzy wine, but then they also added a little bit of champagne to it. And hiking and wine, because they had a hiking trail right there at the winery. So I kind of wanted to play off of that. But again, these are really white. So I'm going to bring in that shortbread ink again and my blending brush. And I'm going to ink around these as well. And I think it helps the texture stand out a little bit more. So I'm just going to go heavier on the sides, but I will go up into the center. And I want to make sure, that it doesn't bleed, which it already is a little bit. Let's try to be a little more careful over the words. I wanted to use this die cut from the Peaceful Season as well. It comes in the 2 sizes. I did cut the smaller one too in case I wanted to add that somewhere. But for sure I want to use the big one just to bring in even more of that red. So I came up with this quote a long time ago and I'm still using it to this day. I thought it'd go perfectly on this layout. Like a fine wine, I'm an acquired taste. Good thing you have good taste. It is so true. I know what I am. And I am going to put this on here. And I printed it on the Avery Clear shipping labels. This is so I used that same paper, but I flipped it over to the solid so that you could read this a little better. And I want it at that angle. Right about there. Hopefully I'm straight with the world. Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna carefully peel this back. And then we can use our little Cricut scraper and really get that blended into there so you can't even see the sticker. It just looks like it was printed right on there. I have some hanging off, so I could run this back through and cut those holes, but really I'm not too worried about that. I don't know that you'll even be able to tell once it's on my layout. I am thinking of using that ribbon and going through this. This is kind of what they show it for. There we go. And then I can use that ribbon to help transition my pattern papers. So I could have that going all the way across both layouts. Like so. And then I'm thinking having this right there. And get our title glued down. I know I want that right above that picture. And then we can go ahead and get these ribbons glued down as well. So I am going to use my Barely Art Glue. I love the precision tip. I love how fast this dries. If I didn't mention, this is the print and cut feature on my Cricut. So I just guessed what color would look good with this and all the inking I did with the shortbread. And I think it looks pretty good. And then I did a black offset. I didn't intentionally leave room for the journaling, but I don't know if I need any because this will go chronologically into my scrapbook. So I will remember, you know, if August is before and after it, this is the middle of August. And I have all of these that say, you know, what we were drinking, what we were eating, where we were. So I really think these are gonna be enough of my journaling. Okay, let's get this down. I think that looks good right there. I'm just gonna run, and really with this kind of ribbon, usually glue dots work really well, but I don't have any glue dots. So my tape runner might work pretty good, but we're gonna see if I can use this. Okay, so I wanna line up this side because it'd be easier to cut it off here. So we're gonna line that up with the edge of that. And then this is gonna slide over a little bit more. Oh yeah, that color ribbon, you can't even tell that I have glue behind it. Perfect. Okay, and then this one will finish off this side. I have this one here that I'm thinking can kind of cover up my armpit shot there. Does anyone else always get armpit shots when they go to take a selfie? Always put your pin back in. It does dry up rather quickly. And then this one I was thinking could cover that pickup and kind of overlap there. I like this one up here. I have the Cougars and Wineries. I kind of like how that's next to there. Hiking and Wine, that could go kind of up between these two pictures. Wine and Champagne. We have several pictures with that. Valiant and Vineyard and the Bloody Marys and Subs. So maybe I should put that one there. Maybe like that. Is that too many over here though? Could put that one down here. So then it kind of carries your eye around to all the pictures. There, what if I did that? So then I have 2 over here and then 3 on that side. I like odd numbers, but this kind of adds as that third point. I saw this technique from Scrap and Katie, and she used a gold paint pen on her florals, and she actually used these same thin cuts. So I have These are so old, you guys. This one's more of a marker, a gold metallic marker, and this one's more of a paint pen. I'm just gonna go right around the edges. Okay, do you see how that just added a little more detail? I could even go along these. Maybe I will. I'll just go along where it cut the... I love it. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that aside so we don't bump it and do these two. I love how much more detail the gold paint pen added to these flowers. Thank you, Katie, for that little trick there. So I'm going to be using that a lot more. Let's take a closer look at these layouts. I don't think these layouts look Christmassy at all. I think we succeeded at using Christmas paper and creating something other than Christmas. I hope this video inspired you to use your products in a different way. Don't forget to check out the description box below for the other ladies' videos. I'm excited to see how they twisted Christmas products. I did go back through and add some of those gold adhesive backed dots to the layout, and I just added 3 to each of the little clusters. Thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, live a life worth scrapping. Bye, guys.